Thank you all for joining us. My name is Stacy Ward. I'm the CEO for PWSA USA, and with us tonight for our June Family Support webinar is Kat Lucero. Kat has a BS in exercise science and a master's in social work, which came in handy when her oldest son, Ronan, was born with Prader-Willi syndrome in 2014. Her passion is to help others in the community and lead them to the resources that will help serve them when navigating the diagnosis. She also believes that it's not just about caring for those with PWS, but it's also how we take care of ourselves as caregivers. Kat sits on the board of directors for PWSA USA. She served as the chapter president for the New Mexico Association and is a parent mentor and enjoys volunteering for PWSA USA. Thanks for joining us, Kat. I'm so excited that you're here.
Me too. This is one of my biggest passions. So I am really excited to be here and hopefully, educate or give people some extra knowledge, maybe that they don't already have. So
Right. And even if they do, so much of this is such a good reminder. I love the part about encouraging caregivers to take care of themselves. I think it's so important.
Well, we tend to forget about ourselves too, a lot.
Yes, you do. All right, I'm going to let you share screen and take it from here.
All righty, let's see. There we go. All right, we did a practice run, guys, and so I did find my little screen guy. Where is he?
I think if you
you guys might think that oh, there he is. Okay.
All right.
I think. There we go. Okay. All right. Is everybody good? I hope everybody can see this. Okay. So what's the big deal about exercise? And just to let you guys know, I'm super animated with my hands. I was really hoping that you guys wouldn't be able to see me, but you can. So what's the big deal about exercise? Is it a dirty word or is it just misunderstood? So I want you guys to kind of think about that. So when you think about the word exercise, what comes to your mind? I know that when I think about exercise, I think about being hot and sweaty. I think about cardio. I think about, just, but once I'm done, I think about how good I feel, right? So, but then think about our kids or the people that you work with, if you're working with anybody in a residential facility or anything like that. So if you mention the word exercise to them, what might they be thinking? Are they resisting you? That sort of thing. So just kind of keep that in mind as we kind of move forward. Okay, so who am I? These are kind of our objectives. So, as I go through these, you can take a little peek at little Ronan. This was years and years ago, because obviously he is not this small anymore. So this is very typical of our kids, right? We have little pink cheeks and cooling towel, Band-Aids on the knees, lots of falls. He has his little SMOs on. This was actually a fun run that he did, and he was so excited about this. This was one of his favorite things at school. Granted, not a runner, doesn't particularly care for it. He'll do it, but it is not something that he particularly does on a regular basis. But he had so much fun. The Band-Aids, they placed him on his knees and he went back to it. So I think that he was just so excited. I don't know how many laps he ran, but it was a lot. So this is basically what I'm just going to go over. What is the big E? Why is it such a bad word? The benefits, how to change the language when you're talking to your kiddo, maybe the people that you're working with, yourself. That way you can get back into a program if you don't already have one. Why we need it, why our community needs it, connecting with our families, connecting with our loved ones. And obviously I'm here, to take questions as they come. If you have any, I am here to answer any of them that you might have. So here I am, Ronan's mom, as I'm known in the community. As Stacy said, I have a bachelor's degree in exercise science, master's in social work, and I also have an integrative health coaching certification. So what does that mean? Basically nothing right now at this time. So, but, and try not to look too closely at that background now that you guys are drawn to it because I said it. It was a Mardi Gras party, guys. So when I was younger, I was made fun of. And my whole thing as I went through school was I did not want other children to feel how I felt, which was awful about myself. And so I went through college knowing that I wanted to help people. And at the time, I wanted to help children. So I know, ironic, right? So during my program, I went through that program just knowing wholeheartedly what I wanted to do. Well, then as I graduated, then I felt like I didn't know what I wanted to do. Went into exercise science, went into pulmonary cardiac rehab, that sort of thing. So wanted to do health coaching. My life kind of took a different turn. So I have, many different passions now. One includes PWSA USA, and obviously my family is a huge passion. So I live with my family here in Colorado. My husband Armando, we've been married for almost 13 years. I have a 5-year-old named Julian, and obviously Ronan, who is 10. So those of you who are going to go to convention, please say hi. We are going to go. I'm so excited. Ronan does exist. Christy does not believe me, but he does. So anyways, so this is just a little bit about myself and kind of just how I navigated through just my short time, I guess, in school. Really wasn't all that short, but I knew that my world wanted to be in the health and wellness realm. And so when I had Ronan, that's kind of where it just kind of shoved me. And I thought, wow, okay, now I feel like I have a purpose, but I don't know how I'm going to use it with my child. And obviously when you, as we all have been, been in the place of having our child being born, you have all of these appointments and you don't know where to begin. So all of my knowledge kind of went out the window and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So here we go. So what's the big deal? I'm going to take you guys back to school. Do you remember in PE? I kind of didn't like PE in elementary school. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably did. I didn't like running, but exercise, it's bodily exertion, right? So maintaining the physical fitness level, right? So we did physical fitness tests. You're getting your heart pumping, your heart racing, you're sweating, you're getting your muscles going. So it's one of those things that your body's getting revved up. It's an engine. So that's the big thing about exercise. And these are all the wonderful things that exercise does. Decreases blood pressure, decreases blood glucose levels. So if you have diabetes, and there's a lot of our population that does, decreases LDLs, which are our bad cholesterol, increases our good cholesterol. I don't have to read all these to you guys. I'm sure you guys can read them. But but as you go down the list here, you can see, obviously, with building stronger bones, one of the things that I did not put on here, which I was going to go back and do, but I didn't, was behavior. I was finding in some research that I was doing that if any of you have felt so good after exercise, yes, we've heard about endorphins. It helps with our behavior, our overall well-being and our health, right? So if you think about our kids, there's been studies that were going on, not only just in other populations with, other syndromes or disease populations as well, just that behaviors Sorry, I was being told that somebody loved me. So I love you too. So that the behavior, actually, whatever behavior that they're exhibiting, whether it's stress or anxiety, is actually decreased depending on the amount of exercise that is used throughout their, whether it's their day or their week. And you're probably thinking, duh. So, I mean, it's interesting because everybody thinks that, oh, is there a miracle pill to, lose weight or whatever, but exercise kind of is this miracle, right? So we just have to do it. So, and if you look at this and our kids, you look at building stronger bones and improves muscle tone, I know for Ronan, he has broken so many bones, and with the falls, and it just helps build that coordination. And so getting them into something that they enjoy doing is so important. And us. Okay, fun slide, right? I love these people. They're having so much fun. Aren't they? They're so cute. They're just pumping iron and eating apples and all that sort of thing. I just, wanted to put that in. Okay. So why is this such a bad word? Why do you guys think that exercise is such a bad word? So like I said at the very beginning, what do you hear? And so I was talking to Ronan and I wanted to get his thought about it the other day. And I asked him, I said, what do you think when you hear, hey buddy, did you exercise today? And he says that it gives him kind of a like pit in his stomach and makes him kind of cringe. And I said, well, what if I say, because he likes to dance, he loves to swim. And I said, well, hey, what if I said, hey, what did you dance to today? And his, response could be, well, I haven't danced today, but I'm going to. Or, oh, I loved this particular song. And then I asked him, I said, okay, well, if you did dance, how does it make you feel? And he was listing off all of these wonderful, adjectives about how dancing makes him feel. So finding different words that describe exercise or physical activity. I mean, granted, you could use physical activity or activity versus the word exercise, but there's something about that particular word that I've noticed gets to me and to my child at least. And I know I was talking to some other people about it, them too, and also their kids. So it's very interesting to hear that this word exercise has this almost negative, meaning to it. So also thinking about what motivates your loved one, finding like what that internal motivation is, so, okay, your child might really love dancing or swimming, or there are people out there that their kids love running or love golf, and more power to them. I think that that is awesome. I wish that my child would just run out the door and be like, bye, gonna go for a run today. But that is not it at all. And, I might be wrong. Maybe that does not happen. And it probably does not happen much in our population, but finding what that motivation for our kids is. Ronan is very motivated by money. So motivated that you could just wave your wallet in front of him and he would just go and go. So we have helped kind of just, provide him with this, okay, you have this, we have a chart that has his, activities or chores. His chores are separate of that, but, you see what's going to motivate him as far as like the internal. It makes him happy. It makes him healthy. It makes him feel good. And then you work on those goals. So okay, those small attainable goals. I am going to, try and work towards walking up this giant hill without stopping. And I'm going to do that at least 3 times for the week. And, you all might already be doing this, which I think is amazing. And that's incredible. And Ronan and I also did that last summer because we have a lot of hills here in Colorado and a lot of hills in our neighborhood. And so there was this one that we called it Conquering Rangeley. That's a street. So, and he didn't want to stop. He wanted to keep going. And so I think it took him almost 4 days. We took breaks in between, like an every other day type thing, but he eventually got it and he felt so good about himself. And one of the rewards that we did was he wanted to just go to Shields. That's all he wanted. But the other reward that he really likes is to zip line. We have an indoor zip lining place. So finding out the reward system for those goals and finding out also the motivation. And the same goes for yourself. That way you're not forgetting what is your motivation to. Is your motivation your kids? Is it yourself? Is it your health that you've kind of let go of? I know that as I've furthered along in my journey, I have let go of what I used to love most. Last year, I injured myself and completely stopped working on myself and working out. I used to love lifting weights and I have completely stopped doing it. And so I have had a lot of muscle atrophy. So a lot of muscle wasting. And I'll actually talk about the use it or lose it. So, but this particular slide I feel like is really important just because of the words that you need to figure out if kind of connect with your loved one and with the people that you're working with. So I kind of already went over this. I always tend to forget about this one and, oops. So I already kind of discussed this with this little guy. Didn't talk to him about it, but I talked to you guys about it. So what is that bonus word that you're going to use with your kids, the people that you work with, whoever it is, find a different word that is relatable. So if it is not exercise, is it activity? Is it something else that is going to help them get out the door and feel good about themselves, or get downstairs or upstairs or wherever it might be that they, are going to be the most active and exercise, so, and I can not push it enough to use a reward system. And because I know with my child, he loves rewards and I love rewards. I reward myself. I love pedicures. I love going shopping. Heck, I love crafts. So I will take myself to craft shopping. So Amazon shopping. So, allow yourself to be able to do something like that as you reach your goals, and figure out what that internal motivation is for yourself, whether it's trying to get yourself, I guess, happy again, or happy and healthy, whatever that might mean to you. Here it is. He's not flying, he's falling. So use it or lose it. So all the benefits on the first slide that we saw, those will go away if you don't exercise or be active. So like I was saying, muscle wasting, muscle atrophy. So with our kids, it is so important. And I think that we see this so often that it's so easy for them just to be like, it's too hard. And I see it with Ronan all the time. That's too hard. I'm hot. You know, what they're doing, I can't do. You can do it just as, you know, you can do it. It just takes you more time, you know? So these are all the things that will happen. You become more sluggish. The behavioral issues become a big thing. I have found that even though, so he's in summer camp this week, he's done 2 days. He loves it. And he's been super active. Granted, tired. He got mad at me because I picked him up like 5 minutes early today. So, but I have found that he is just this happier kid, just being, you know, more active throughout his day. He sleeps so much better. Granted, that's not an issue for our kids. I sleep a lot better when I am active. So, but this is the other thing, decreasing lifespan. We want our kids to live as long as possible. So being able to have, you know, a cardiovascular system that is like this winner of a system, and you know, the low tone is it's a booger. So, but having, sorry guys, but I think that being able to provide them with the ability to root them on and have them use what they can, and not go into this use it or lose it thing, and have some consistency, this will not be an issue. And having them already be fall risks because of low tone or what have you, we don't want them to break any more bones. I definitely don't want Ronan to break any more bones. We kind of joke about it. It sucks. So he stubbed his toe like the first day of like summer break, and we thought he broke it at swim lessons because he stubbed it so bad on the bleachers. It was a sprain, a really bad one. Only our kids. So just consistency. That is the key. And I know that there are so many kids already out there that are already doing that. And so for you parents that already have this under your belt, great. And I hope that you are following in their footsteps, because if you are not, follow in their footsteps. You are already making them do this. So I hope that you are doing it with them. All right, so we're going to make this connection now. So don't worry, the slides are coming to an end. So we're making this connection now. So you're going to make the activity fun and engaging. So that's why those words are so important. So finding that keyword that is going to perk them up and make them want to do whatever it is. So if they like bike riding, or, you know, or maybe they've never tried it, maybe you get them a trike. Maybe their medical provider will pay for it. I don't know. Maybe you look into something like that. Sometimes Medicaid or your state will cover something like that. Start with shorter times, because if you send your kid or even yourself off on this, I'm gonna go do this for 30 minutes or 60 minutes, you are failing them and yourself. So start off with shorter time frame. Don't go in like this wrecking ball thinking that you know, you're going to have you or your child get in this activity that's going to make them, you know, strong and a beast, and it's really going to defeat them, and then they will hate it, and so will you. And then make them visual. So our kids are so visual. Like, I mean, we know this. You make them a chart, or have them make it. One of the things that Ronan really loved doing was making his own goal sheet. You know, make them, and if they can't do it, you do it for them, or maybe they color it or put stickers on it. So make a visual goal sheet for them. And if maybe it's a provider in a residential center, maybe you're already doing this. So I think that doing something that is a visual cue will help them see, okay, I did this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe next week, I'm going to add another day and a few more minutes on. And this will also help you do the same thing, because I know for me, I like to challenge myself. And so if I have not added either an extra day, I'm going to add an extra, I will add an extra 10 minutes. So adding extra time or an extra day, or what is your goal, or, and do something together even, and then a reward system. The rewards are really fun. I mean, it could be a movie night, or we had one where the boys could pick the movie for family movie night. So it could be something as simple as that. So it doesn't have to be something that is overloaded with money. So I know that the zipline place that we have here, Air 360, I don't know if any of you guys have something like that, but it's an indoor zipline place. Ronan loves it. If we get the bounce pass with it, it is super expensive. If we only do the zipline, which is actually a workout too, not as expensive. So you just kind of have to play around with and be creative with the rewards that you want to give them and yourself. And you can do the rewards together or separate. So kind of get them involved and your family. Look, I'm done. What? So I am open to any questions that you guys might have. I know this was only 30 minutes, but so if you guys have any questions at all. So
if you guys have questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A, and then I will read them to Kat and she will answer them. Kat, that was great. Thank you.
welcome.
I was thinking, I chuckled a little bit when you said that you had an injury and weren't able to work out for a little bit. And I was going to share, I had not necessarily an injury, but from the effects of RA, I've had a really hard time being able to work out in the places that I used to love, and found this gym now that it's called Hot Works, but it's similar to hot yoga, except all of your workouts are in a sauna. And that works for me. Not
Wow.
in a million years did I think that was something that I would enjoy or that would work. But through some trial and error and trying a bunch of different things, that's what I found. So I think, when you shared finding those things that, just try it, see what you find.
Absolutely.
Okay. How often would you recommend giving out rewards, and what should that schedule look like?
That is a good question. So as far as rewards, I think that it is based on what you and your family would want. I think what we have found, it also depends on the age of the child. And so like, for instance, Julian, he's 5. So we found that if we were going to see any momentum with him, we had to make sure that that reward was going to be given more frequently. So it was going to have to be like a week. So, but Ronan, we could do like a 2-week period, or say we told him, okay, you need to get in, at least, 15 days or, 7 days of physical activity. And then you can have your reward, but you have to do it within, a 14-day span of time. So if he got it done, if he hustled, he could get a reward within a week. So it just kind of depends on, I think, the age of the child. So I think the younger they are, you're probably going to want to do a reward probably sooner, because they're going to lose interest if not. It's kind of like chores, they're not going to want to do the chore and get money for it if you're, if they don't reap reward like a benefit, so.
I'm going to put on my behavior hat for a second. And so, yes, I think the age of the child is absolutely crucial. Also, how aversive that physical activity is to them. So for somebody who may really hate doing any
Yes.
sort of physical movement, they may need a higher valued motivator more frequently than someone who isn't as aversive to doing that. So it really can be individualized, should be individualized. I've also found specifically with people with PWS, you have to change those more often than perhaps with your non-PWS children, that loses its value.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, not a question, but I love changing the word exercise to something different. It's become such an ugly word, and I love changing it to something that inspires and or motivates. Thank you for sharing that. I agree.
Mhm.
Exercise is that dirty word.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's
It
just,
really is.
I know when I'm like, I don't know if Maggie Andrews is on here, but if,
It is.
come on, Maggie, is one of those questions yours?
It was.
Oh, you're so nice, Maggie. Thanks. I was like, you better ask a question. But her and I were talking about, she was talking about books today,
Hmm.
and that, and it's like this in my household too with reading. And, but she was talking about books, about, trying to get Christopher to read. And so if she's like, brings out a book and she's like, hey, I bought this new book. Why don't you look at it with me and look at the pictures? And, so it's just trying to be really diverse with the wording that you're using.
Yes.
So,
And I think the more you make something fun and
mhm,
silly, the more all of us want to participate in it and enjoy it while we are participating.
right. I mean, it could be as simple as like even doing obstacle courses. And I mean, my mom had Julian, who's 5, running all around the backyard doing weird obstacle course stuff. I mean, she could do that with Ronan too. In fact, um, he was doing CrossFit for a while, and so his trainer would do like these police activities with him. So, I mean,
Oh,
just
right up his alley.
calling it something different.
Yes.
That's all it was.
How many of you guys find that your kids are competitive and making something a competition is motivating? Or I think there's so many ways to move your body without it feeling like now it's time to go exercise. Do you exercise with Ronan?
Well, gee, funny that you say that. That is actually how I injured myself.
Yes, yes, it is. Oh,
Yes. So yes, I do. I do work out with Ronan. Um, that is actually how I injured myself, but that has not prevented me from continuing to work out with him. So we do go for our walks together, and we will do some weight training together. He doesn't like me dancing with him. He thinks that I'm stupid. So I kind of just stick to the background. But yeah, he enjoys mostly just walking with me because he likes to talk. Weird.
I can't even imagine that.
That's odd. And the questions. So he has me to himself. So
All right. Next question. Would you recommend more low impact exercises at first? And when would you recommend starting more strenuous things like weight training? What a great question, Maggie.
I would, yes, definitely low impact. And as far as weight training goes, if you're asking about Christopher, I would definitely wait until older than 10. Well, you could probably start him at you could probably start him at 7. I would talk to his PT though. Um, you could do resistance bands but I would not do anything else. I
And
mean, definitely resistance bands is fine,
what are
but
the
lower impact.
concerns with
Yeah.
going to weight? Is it the form because of the low tone? Is that
Yeah. I mean,
that way we would be
right.
concerned?
And also as far as the weights go, it has to also to do with that oh my gosh, I'm trying to go back to school here. With our bones not being completely formed
Oh,
as, yeah. So they don't, and this might have changed, but I know that 10, for some reason, 10 is ringing out in my brain. So, but I would definitely talk to either PT or pediatrician.
mhm.
Um, but I would, as regarding your, you know, other peer groups, I would say 10 years of age is fine for as far as higher impact and weight training. So for your other kids.
Okay.
And for
Yeah.
us, like if you're starting off at a like as an adult, I would definitely start lower and slower.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. How do you and can we incorporate natural exercise, like parking super far away and walking to a store?
I think that that's a great idea. It's so funny because some people say that it doesn't matter, but it does. I think every little thing counts, and you know, and with our kids too, let your kids, I know it's annoying, but let them ask the questions as as we're walking into the store. If we're parked way out in the boonies, that's fine. I don't want to have my car dinged, so I'll park out in the boonies. So, and I'll let Ronan or ask all the questions that he wants until we get into the store. So, but I think that it's a great idea. I used to do stairs
Mm.
when I was working, so I would do the stairwells, um, and so I think any kind of activity is better than no activity.
100% agree with that. All right, next question. What advice could you give me to keep motivating myself as a mom who hates exercise, and who's also supposed to be setting an example for my child with PWS?
So I think that that is motivation in and of itself. And I know that it's hard. And I know that as parents, we're tired. Um, so I think that just knowing that we are trying to set an example and being able to be there and work out with your child or
Mhm.
work with your child. So whether it's kicking around the soccer ball, or another thing that Ronan likes is hunting for grasshoppers. As much as I don't like being hunt, and bugs. Ugh. So
That
I
sounds like
will,
fun to me.
you can come here and look for them with him.
Okay.
And he likes to look at them. So I will, walk with him to go do that. And so it's something small, and I think just that's what you have to do. It's like kind of the compromise. And as the mom too, so you can work with them, and then
Mhm.
you can also incorporate stuff, maybe they're whatever age the child is. So whether they're at school or whether they're um, taking a nap or what have you, is being able to carve out a period, a certain time during the day. I know it is easier said than done. I
Yeah.
have been there. I am getting myself currently out of the funk, which I am so proud of, but it's just muscling through it. So, and definitely, I mean, write it in pen or put it in your calendar that you cannot change, that it is an appointment, just like what you have for your child. Put it in for 10 minutes. Doesn't need to be a very long period of time. I think people have this notion in their head that I have to work out for 30 minutes. Yes, it's great that you can do that, but you can also break it up throughout the day. It doesn't have to be for this really long period of time. So if you have stairs in your house and you're trying to do laundry, that's a lot of ups and downs depending on where your laundry room is.
Mhm.
Or you could, if your laundry room's upstairs and all your rooms are upstairs, great. Why don't you fold the laundry downstairs? So and then haul it back up.
That's a great way of naturally just putting more movement in your day. And again, not calling it exercise.
Right. Extra steps.
Count your steps. Do you recommend Fitbits or Apple Watches, or does that just create obsessions?
No, actually, I think that they're really great. I think that if you're an obsessive person, I've never really found it being obsessive. I guess I'm not really that type of person, though. I've never really felt that way about them. I think it just depends on what you're wanting it for. I've used mine for my steps, my caloric intake, and my water. Water is a huge deal, huge. So I think that it's a great way to look back at your day, really.
I can understand the thought around obsession. So if you're a competitive person, perhaps like myself, our gym tracks a leaderboard based on the number of calories that you burn through their app.
You can also take that off of your watch.
You could, or you could obsessively watch it and try to beat the person in front of you like other people I know. So I can see how if your loved one with PWS becomes obsessive about certain things, that could be an issue. So I think, for many of us, they're fantastic tools. It's also a great way for us to see how much activity our children are doing.
Yeah.
But it may become, a very personalized thing where you have to remove it. We have a couple comments here. One says, great presentation. Thank you. Another one says, you could be Dorothea, you could be crazy like me and get a walking pad for your at-home desk.
My sister has one of those. I think that it's fantastic that you do that, and I love it.
She does it all the time. And it's such
She's
an
in motion.
Yes, to get, 5 or 6 miles
Yeah.
in throughout the day and still be working.
I think that it's incredible. I think it's a great thing to do. I mean, if I was in your situation, like if I had a job. I have a job. A desk job. I would do the same thing.
Yes. Okay. I tend to guilt myself sometimes because I say, how can I ask my child to do something that I'm not doing? So that motivates me to be an example and let them see me doing something, and sometimes over exaggerate the motions to show how hard I'm working and that I'm not quitting. What a great recommendation, Charles. Thank you.
Yeah.
And if you work in, the residential world, or you're a ComHab worker, a respite worker, and part of your job is bringing somebody to work out, please, I'm begging you, work out with them. Don't just watch them.
Yeah. I mean,
make it an activity that you guys are doing.
They want the companionship. I mean, I remember, so I did, when I worked in cardiac and pulmonary rehab, I mean, we worked out with our patients.
Yes.
I loved it because I got a workout too. I mean, we didn't have to, but I enjoyed it.
And
so
the resistance decreases from them when you're doing it with them. Nobody wants to be told, hey, go do that while I watch you.
Right. And it's nerve-wracking too, right? I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
Lynn, do you recommend any YouTube fitness channels or any instructors in particular?
Gosh, it's been so long since I've gotten on YouTube one of the things that I've gotten into recently is somatic exercises. It is so interesting. And I have found it, and this is more for me, like I would say more for adults, parents, even people working in the residential world, like for them to kind of clear their minds, maybe even after work. It's just such a great mind-body connection. And I did an app, and I ended up deleting it because I wasn't using it as much as I wanted to, and now I kind of regret it. And it was called the Me app. But there was a girl on it, and Lynn, I can email you because I really liked her, and she was on YouTube for the somatic stuff. But way back when, I loved Julian Michaels. But
Yes.
I guess she's old now. I don't know.
I guess.
So
Charles
out of the loop.
shared that he watches Patty Shukla, Shukla on YouTube. I'm not familiar with her. But he does push-ups and sit-ups with the kids and then runs around the house in the yard chasing them, playing games about who can get to the top or the bottom of the stairs first, and then giving out rewards to whoever does that. So again, making it fun.
You know what? Ronan actually there's several YouTube videos that he watches. I am such a bad parent. I'm like, yeah, go dance, do your stuff. Go watch your YouTube.
So funny.
And he actually has several, one of which that's how I injured myself. It was a great family workout. So
it happens.
Yeah.
We also have to take care of our bones.
Guys, I can send stuff to Stacy and she can either send it out or so I can get those things if you all are interested as far as the kids YouTube. And then if you're interested in any of the adult stuff too, I can also get you the somatic exercise stuff. Again, I haven't gotten on YouTube in a while to do stuff for myself. I did for the longest time, I was doing like Beachbody. So I did that for a really long time up until my ankle injuries.
That's great. We used to love Beachbody. Okay, that's all we have for questions right now. Does anybody have any last minute questions before we say goodnight for the night?
Thank you, everybody, for allowing me to share my passion with another passion of mine. So